So last day, at the end, we have been discussing the case of acceleration, right? What is acceleration?
The rate
What
of
is acceleration?
velocity.
Yes, we discussed it as the rate of change of velocity. That is how, with the time, the velocity is changing. Yesterday, three cases we discussed, right? You can see that what the first case, what we saw, that is actually velocity is not changing at all. That is, with the time, the velocity is remaining the constant only, right? So there you can see that there is no change of velocity, or the rate of change of velocity is zero. That means acceleration is zero. Clear?
Yes, sir.
In the second part, second case, what we saw, the change in velocity is a constant. That is, after 1 second, what you saw is that there is an increase in velocity by 1 meter per
1
second.
meter per second.
In every interval, after every one interval, if 1 second interval, you see there is an increase in velocity by 1 second, 1 meter per second that you saw, which means actually the rate, there is actually change of velocity happening. And what is the rate of change of velocity? 1 meter per second in each interval. And that, I mean, 1 meter per second square it is. Okay. So that change is what we call as the rate of change of that velocity is what we call as acceleration. Now, in the third case, what we were seeing, the rate at which velocity is changing, that itself is changing. Correct? In the first interval, you saw there is an increase in velocity by 1 meter per second. In the second interval, you saw it by how much? It by 2 meter per second. And in the third interval, you saw 3 meter per second. In the fourth, like that, increase in rate of change of velocity, or the increase in velocity you saw in that case. Right. So the rate of change of velocity itself is changing there. That means the acceleration itself is changing. Is that clear? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
that's how basically we tell what is acceleration. Acceleration is what? The rate of change of velocity. How the velocity is changing with the time. That means how do you analyze the change? In unit time, how much is the change in velocity you will analyze. Okay, so what is the change in velocity in a unit time? That gives what? The rate of change of velocity. Okay, and that we got the acceleration equation. The average acceleration we got to be equal to what? The change in velocity per unit time divided by the time interval. That's what we've been getting. And we got the instantaneous acceleration. How do we got it? We limit the delta t value to
Delta t to 0.
delta v by delta t. That gives you what? dv by dt, derivative of the velocity with respect to time. That's what we have been discussing. And also one point we discussed regarding the slope of the curve also. If we have a certain velocity time graph, okay, from that, over a certain interval, you want to find the what? The acceleration. How do you find average acceleration? You can. How do you find? Connect these 2 points by using a straight line. So the slope of this line, that is with respect to horizontal, it is making an angle theta, suppose. So tan theta is what we call as the slope. How do you get the slope? Delta v by delta t. That is equal to delta v by delta t. That's how you get the slope. That is actually the average, no, not dv by dt, because in a certain time interval you are doing this. That gives actually the average acceleration. But if you want to get the instantaneous acceleration, how do you get at this particular time? What is the acceleration you want to get? How do you get? You put up this perpendicular, and at this point it is meeting. At this point, what is the acceleration you want to get? How do you get? You draw a tangent to the curve at that point. Draw a tangent to the curve at that point. What is the slope of that? That will give you what? Tan theta. That will give you the slope, and that is equal to what? dv by dt. And that's how you get the slope
At the
which is
particular
actually
instant of time, that time, like that is instantaneous velocity. Whereas
instantaneous.
if you are finding
Instantaneous means at that particular time or at that particular instant, what is the acceleration?
yes, sir.
Is that clear? Yeah. So that is the average acceleration and the instantaneous acceleration. Is that clear to you all? Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. So let's see. We'll try solving out some problems here. In acceleration, is there any problem? Let me check. Acceleration, we didn't do any problem yesterday, right?
Acceleration.
Oh, sir, you only taught us.
Yes. Good.
Sir, yesterday in yesterday's class you taught 2 graphs, isn't it, sir? At last. So those are these 2 graphs only, sir.
Yes, these 2 graphs only to
Yes.
define what is average and instantaneous acceleration. Let's do 2 problems here. Yes, the question is this, okay. If a body travels 30 meter, 30 meter in an interval of 2 seconds and 50 meter in the next interval of 2 seconds, then the acceleration of the body is try to do it. Option 1 is 10 meter per second square. Option 2, 5 meter per second square. Option 3, 20 meter per second square. Option 4, 25 meter per second square. Try solving this. That is the body travels 30 meter in the first interval of time, that is 2 seconds. First 2 seconds it travel 30 meter. In the second 2 seconds it travel 50 meter. Then what is the acceleration of the body?
20 meter per second, sir.
How much it is?
20 meter per second.
20 meter per second square. Check it out clearly. In the first interval, second interval. First 30 meter, it traveled in 2 seconds. Second 50 meter, it traveled in 2 seconds. So what is the acceleration in this case?
10 meters per second, sir.
5 meter per
How can you
second,
get it?
sir.
How can you get it?
First, we'll find the displacement, sir. I mean, the velocity, average velocity.
You can find basically, you need to find what the acceleration, what it is. What is acceleration? The change in velocity by time.
Delta V by delta T.
5 meter per second, sir.
So in the first interval, what is the velocity we'll find? What is the velocity in the second interval we'll find? Okay. Then what is the change in velocity you find? Divide with the time. That will give you that. How will you get it?
So this is delta V by delta T, then yes, sir. So
What is the velocity in the first interval? V1. Velocity in the second interval. What is this? Distance is in the first interval. What is the distance? 30 meter.
30.
What is the time? 2 seconds. So what is the velocity?
30 by 2, sir. So
30 meter by 2 seconds. So it is 15 meter per second. In the second interval, S2 is equal to 50 meter. T2 is equal to 2 seconds. So what is velocity? V2 is 50 meter by 2 seconds. So that is 25 meter per second.
right.
Yeah. So what is the acceleration? Delta V means V2
25
minus V1
minus-
divided by delta T. So what will that be equal to? 25 minus
15.
15 by
2 minus 2.
2 minus 2 delta T.
Delta T, change in time, isn't it?
What is the time interval?
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
What will you do? What will you take? Will you take the whole 4 seconds or will you take the 2 seconds? See, you have to consider here this 2 seconds here, right? Why? Because see, after this 30 meter, its velocity was V1. After this, second time interval, that is its velocity is V2. So you have to consider this time interval here. So here it will be 2. That is the time interval is coming 2 seconds, right? So
Sir,
you'll
why
be
only
getting,
the second time interval, sir, not the first one, that is 2 seconds? One
because
more.
see, after the first time interval, its velocity was V1. After the second time interval, its velocity was V2, correct? That's how we have taken V1 and V2. After the first 2 seconds, its velocity is V1. We got it to be 15 meter per second. After the second time interval, its velocity is V2, 25 meter per second. So you have to consider from here to here that motion. So you will be getting 10 by 2, 10 meter per second divided by 2 seconds. So that will be equal to 5 meter per second square. So option 2 is the right option here. Okay,
Sir, I got answer in another method.
how did you get it?
Sir, first I took average velocity, sir, by adding 50 and 30 divided by 4, sir. So I
Okay.
got 20, sir.
20.
Then I took like total time as 4, sir. Then I divided 20 by 4. I got 5 meter per second, sir.
Hmm. You can't basically do that way. See, the thing is, see what you have to think of in this case. What is average velocity? What is the case? What is the case of average velocity? We are considering that. See, its velocity may be varying in between, but what we are taking is that by finding average velocity, what we are taking is that if it travels with this velocity everywhere, okay, then it completes this much displacement. It covers this much displacement within the given time, which we are considering that the velocity, if it was constant, we take, if it travels with this constant average velocity, it travels this much displacement. Okay, so we can't actually consider the case of what change in velocity in that particular case. Okay, so you can't do that it by that method. What you have to do is you have to find the change in velocity, what is happening there. Okay, so the change in velocity within the given time interval, that will give you the acceleration during that time interval. Okay, maybe I believe that it is for this particular case you are getting that answer. If maybe it is changing, you won't be getting the answer. Okay, you can try with some other values of displacement and time, you may not be getting the same value. And actually second thing, 2-second time interval is same only. Okay, yeah, then again the average velocity find, there is some complication in that. Okay, all the time you may not be getting the right answer. You can just check it down, okay, and come back to me after checking that one, okay, whether you are getting or not. Okay,
Okay, sir.
yeah, all right, so that is the thing, one question that we have done. In all of these questions, actually next this thing is also coming, question number 13. Yeah, a direct question will do one. Yeah, next question here it is. A car moving on a straight road, a car moving on a straight road, accelerates from a speed of 4.1 meter per second to a speed of 6.9 meter per second in 5 seconds.
Let's consider it as like speed. We have to consider it as velocity because per
It's a
velocity.
straight road, right? It's a straight road.
Straight road. Yes, sir.
Then its average acceleration is, then its average acceleration is, find it out. The options are given, 0.5 meter per second. Actually, you can tell it before I complete this option only. 0.6 meter per second square, option 3. 0.56 meter per second square, option 4. 0.65 meter per second square. Completed and tell me.
Sir, is it 0.56 meter per second?
Okay, let others also. Oh, this question just went.
Question is not as
Sir, 0.56 meter.
0.56 only, sir.
Let's check. Okay, hold on a second. Let others also complete.
Sir, that is first
So 0.56.
because only one time interval is given, that is delta t. So delta t will be 5 seconds itself, sir.
Hold on a moment. Okay, hold on.
0.56.
How do you get it?
Delta
T
V
is
by
equal to
delta
delta V
T.
by delta T.
Yes, you can see here the average acceleration is being asked. How do you find it? Delta V by delta T. Correct. You can see that within a time interval of 5 seconds, the velocity changed from 4.1 meter per second to 6.9 meter per second. So you can find it as what? 6.9 minus 4.1 divided by time interval is 5. So what you'll be getting?
2.8 by 5.
4.8 by 5. No,
0.
2
2.8 by 5.
2.8 by
0.56.
Yes, 0.56 meter per second square.
Sir.
See, would have, yes, tell me.
Because only one time interval is given, we consider delta T as 5, isn't it, sir?
It's not, see, you can see here one thing. A car is moving on a straight road, accelerates from a speed of 4.1 meter per second to 6.9 in 5 seconds. In 5 seconds, see, T2 minus T1 or delta T. What is that?
Okay, they
That
are
is the
given delta T itself, sir.
Yes, that is the time interval during which the velocity is changing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this velocity changed from 4.1 to 6.9 meter per second in 5 seconds. So this is the time interval delta T only.
Yes, sir.
This is V1, this is V2. That's it.
Yes, sir. Understood.
That clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's go for further discussions in this. We'll come back to this more problems, okay? Yes. Let's do some more exercises in this. So one thing that is very important in this chapter is regarding the graphs. Okay, so the analysis of graph, that is very important. Okay, so two types of the graphs that you can see in this case is the displacement time or the displacement time graph, okay, and the velocity time graph. The analysis of these two are very important in this case.
This is for
Okay.
acceleration, sir.
Not just for acceleration, you'll come to know now in different cases how will this be. All these cases we are going to see. Okay, so let's see some situations here and how will be the velocity time and displacement time graph. For that we are going to see. The first case we are going to see is the case of uniform motion. Okay, in uniform motion, how will be the velocity time graph? How should I draw the velocity time graph? How will it be?
Straight line.
Straight line. How I have to keep the straight line? Like oblique.
Horizontal.
Straight line parallel to x-axis.
Uniform motion means what? Exactly. Uniform motion means velocity is constant. So you'll be having a straight line parallel to time axis. Okay. Now for the same uniform motion, how will be the displacement time graph?
Same, sir. Horizontally.
What does, see, if it is horizontally, what does that mean? The displacement is not changing.
Vertical.
What will be the case? How much? How vertical? No.
Straight line
If-
passing through origin.
Exactly. So how we will be getting? See, the displacement. How we will be getting velocity into time? Correct. Velocity into time gives the displacement. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Velocity into time is displacement. So at time t is equal to 0, displacement will be 0. Now at time t is equal to 1 second, velocity will be v. Sorry, displacement will be v. So like that it will be going on. So it will be like 0, then v, 2v, 3v, like that it will be going the displacement. Correct. So what you're going to get, it will be a straight line. Okay, with a certain slope, with a positive slope you'll be getting. Is that clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here another thing you have to notice, that is from velocity time graph and displacement time graph. The important thing what it is, what does the slope of displacement time graph give you?
Velocity.
Exactly. The slope of the velocity time graph gives, sorry, displacement time graph gives you velocity.
Sir, how it gives velocity, sir?
Because it is delta s by delta t, that is s by t only, right? The slope, if you are
Yes, sir.
finding, that is s by t only, that is velocity. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one more thing, if I'm telling you, in the velocity time graph, the area under velocity time graph, what does that give you?
Acceleration.
area under velocity time graph. What does that give you?
Acceleration.
No. What is this area for this particular graph? If we are seeing, okay, area means what? This value.
Displacement.
Area means what? See here, if I cover this, okay, the area means this value. So you have got a rectangle here. What is the area of this rectangle? This much is V. This is T. So V into T gives you the area under this. What is V into T? You can see it is displacement. So the area under the velocity time graph gives you displacement. That is the importance of these two graphs. Clear?
So delta S into delta T, that gives velocity, sir.
Yes. Displacement by time only, no? That is
Yes,
velocity.
sir.
Okay, so this is very important. The slope of the displacement time graph gives you velocity. The area under the velocity time graph gives you displacement. Is it clear to you?
Slope and area is different, sir.
Sorry? Slope
Slope
and area are
and-
different. Slope means what? See, if you have this as the line you are considering, it makes an angle theta with the horizontal means tan theta is what you call as slope. How much steep this is? See, you consider these two, this line and this line, which is more steep? The first one is more steep, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because it's making more angle, right? And the slope you measure it as what? Tan of this angle theta. And now what is that? If this is, if within this interval you are considering it is delta V it is, or delta S, suppose this is delta T. So the slope is tan theta, which will be delta S by delta T, which is nothing but velocity only. In a
So what
displacement
will-
time graph.
So
What
what
is
will
it?
area of velocity time graph give, sir?
Velocity time graph, area under the velocity time graph gives you displacement. You see here in this constant uniform motion, you can see here.
Sorry, sir.
velocity-
Displacement time graph, sir. Sorry, displacement time graph.
No, that we don't take it. Okay, we don't need such a physical quantity. We are not defining such a physical quantity.
Okay, sir.
Okay, because in that case, what you will be doing, displacement into time. What is that quantity? Displacement into time. See, we
Velocity.
have velocity is displacement by time.
Yes.
Okay, so displacement into time. So it gives a quantity like this. See, you can analyze it here only. See, for example, if you take a displacement time graph, if you take that the displacement is constant. So if you take the area under that, what you'll be getting? If you take the area under that, that will what it will be giving you. Let's see, because that is actually the area of this. So area will be giving you equal to ST, correct? Now what is S? S is V into T. So V into T into T. So that will be V T square. A quantity, the area under the displacement time graph, if you are finding, that will be giving you a quantity this way. That is velocity if you multiply with the square of the time. Such a quantity you will be getting in that case. Okay, such a physical quantity we are not defining also. So we don't need such a quantity in this case. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So next point, another type of graph we are going to see. The situation is different. Last case, we saw the case of uniform motion. Now, in this second case, what we are going to see is the case of uniformly accelerated motion. Uniformly accelerated motion. Accelerated motion. What do you mean by uniformly accelerated motion? We take that initially the velocity is 0 for the way. We take the initial velocity is 0. The displacement initially is 0 at t is equal to 0. At time t is equal to 0, displacement is 0 and initial velocity is 0. So in such a case, what do you mean by uniformly accelerated motion? What do you mean by uniformly accelerated motion?
Displacement is uniform and velocity changes.
Displacement will not be uniform. See, the thing is velocity changes. Okay, velocity changes, but how is the velocity changing? That change will be constant. That is the second case in the
Constant
case
to
of,
time, sir.
sorry,
Change in velocity will be constant to time.
in all the time interval, the change in velocity will be constant or acceleration will be a constant value. That is what we call as uniformly accelerated motion. And under such case, if you take the velocity time graph, how you will be getting initial velocity, we are taking as 0. So
Parallel
what-
to x-axis.
Parallel to x-axis means you will get constant velocity. But there is change in velocity, but the change in velocity is a constant. So what you're going to
Perpendicular
get?
to.
No, a graph will be this way. You'll be
Yes,
getting.
sir.
Okay, so you can see initial velocity is 0. Okay, so after certain time, you can get, right? So different values you can take it out from this. And again, the slope of the velocity time graph, what does it give you? Slope of velocity time graph gives you acceleration.
Acceleration.
Yeah. Now, how will be the displacement time graph for this? Displacement time graph, how it will be? For uniformly accelerated motion, the displacement time graph, it will be like this.
Sir, for uniformly accelerated motion, sir, this
Hmm.
displacement is 0, sir.
Initial at time t is equal to 0, displacement is 0.
Okay, sir.
Okay, it's starting from the origin, like that you can think of. Okay, so for uniformly accelerated motion, what you'll be getting is that its velocity, its displacement, it will be a curved line like this. Is that clear? Again, what will actually be the slope of velocity time graph gives you the acceleration. Yeah, okay, fine. So next point, what we are going to see, another situation we'll see here. That is the case, the same situation only, that is uniformly accelerated motion. Uniformly accelerated motion.
Sir?
But what we are, yes,
In case of like displacement time graph, we cannot like find out anything like area or slope for the second condition.
always the area under the displacement time graph, what does it give you? Sorry, the slope of the displacement time graph gives you what? Velocity only. Okay, and the area under the velocity time graph gives you what?
Displacement.
Displacement. Always that will be same only.
No, sir, I'm just like in second condition, we drew displacement time graph, like displacement time graph, isn't it, sir?
Yes,
So in that, like area or slope cannot be found, or it
yes,
can
you
be
can
found.
find in the velocity time graph, area of velocity time graph gives you displacement. Okay, and
Sir,
this
I'm asking for displacement time graph, sir.
you can find the slope of displacement time graph gives you velocity. Okay, but you can't find the area under displacement time. You can find, but that won't give a proper physical quantity. You will not be getting.
Always it gives velocity.
Always.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but since here this is not a, this is a curved line. Okay, the slope, if you are finding for this over a time interval, you find means you get the average velocity. Okay, now if at a particular instant you find means you get the instantaneous velocity. Is that
Yes,
clear?
sir, understood.
Yeah, so this is always same only. Okay, it won't change with the graph. The slope of the velocity time graph, it gives you acceleration. The area under the velocity time graph gives the displacement. The slope of the displacement time graph gives you the velocity, whichever the graph will. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next point what we are seeing, we are going to consider the uniformly accelerated motion only, but initial velocity is not 0. We have taken here in the last case what it is, initial velocity is 0. Correct? But in this case, what we are taking is initial velocity is not 0 and initial displacement is 0. That is at t is equal to 0, displacement is 0. So such a graph, how will it be? How will be the graph in such a case? Uniformly accelerated motion, initial velocity is not 0. See, the velocity,
Not starting from the origin.
exactly. So velocity time graph, how will it be that? See, in this last case, initial velocity we got taken to be 0. So that's why we started from the origin. But here velocity is non-zero, right? Initial velocity is non-zero. So you will be having a graph this way. It starts from this point because this value will be equal to u. Okay, so that will be the velocity time graph for a uniformly accelerated motion with the initial velocity non-zero. And the displacement time graph for this, it will be the same only. You'll be getting like this only. The same graph you'll be getting in this particular case also. And all these that are relevant in this case will be same in this case also. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, so that is the point. So next type of graph we are going to see uniformly accelerated. So next case, the fourth case, I think, the uniformly accelerated motion, same, okay. The uniformly accelerated motion, we are taking that initial velocity is non-zero. Initial displace, it is having a certain initial displacement. At time t is equal to 0, it is having a certain initial displacement. Okay, it is not starting from the origin. So such a graph, how will you be getting? The velocity time graph, how will it be? Same as in the last case, right? Velocity at time t is equal to 0 is not 0, but a value u. Now the displacement time graph, how will it be in that case? The displacement time graph, it won't be starting from the origin. At time t is equal to 0, it is having a certain value s0, suppose. So the graph start from here in this case. Is that clear?
Sir, this is the same thing, sir. Like uniformly.
Yes, but the difference between the last case is, what is it? See, we are not taking it from, for example, a car is starting, okay? So it's starting at time t, the time we are going to count such that it is, the car has started from the origin. Okay, so you will be getting this graph, you'll be getting this graph, you'll be getting. But if you consider that the car at time t is equal to 0, it didn't start from the origin, but from a certain displacement s0 it has started. So now at time t is equal to 0, you have to take the displacement at this position. Okay, then
Yes, sir.
the same type of curve will be getting. Is that clear?
Here you like final position is 0, sir.
It's not the final position 0. Initially, when you are considering the difference, you see, okay, see initial case, what this case, okay, this first case, this second case, or the third case and fourth case, when you're seeing in the third case, the thing is that the car, suppose it started from the origin only. Okay, it started from the origin. Fine, initial velocity, whatever it may be, okay, it started from the origin only. But in the fourth case, what we are seeing is that the car didn't start from the origin, but instead from a certain displacement s0 from the origin, the car is starting. At time t is equal to 0, the car is at this position, that is s0 displacement from the origin. The car is starting from here. Its motion is being considered from this position. Okay, so it's not actually what it's not starting from the origin. That's why we drew the curve from here. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, next type of motion we'll see then. The graph only, okay. Next case, we are going to consider, the two cases last we considered was the uniform acceleration. Now, if it is,
Sir,
yeah,
what can be the main uses of this graph, sir?
many things you can get. Just now you saw the slope of the velocity time graph gives you acceleration, right? The area of the velocity time gives you the displacement. Like that, many uses are there. Okay, if a graph is given to you, everything about the motion of the car, you can actually get it from this, or the object, the motion of an object, you can analyze from the graph itself. That is at a certain time, what is the position, what is the velocity, everything you can get it from a graph. That is the relevance of a graph.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the next point, we considered the case of uniform acceleration, right? Next, what we are going to see is the case of the fifth case, uniformly retarded motion. Retarded motion. What do you mean by uniformly retarded motion?
Speed is decreasing.
Negative acceleration.
Negative acceleration, right? Retardation is the retardation.
Speed is decreasing, sir.
Is
We
the
are not
opposite of what? Opposite of acceleration.
acceleration.
Okay, or negative acceleration is what we call as retardation. Fine. So can you tell me one example of retardation? One example of retardation.
Deacceleration of a car in a slope.
Which one? On a slope?
Yes, sir. We are deaccelerating. We are not accelerating.
Yes,
the car.
or you can no. See, but still the car may be going with the same speed only, right? See, you can
Moving
consider
back,
like
sir.
when a car is like going on a straight road. Now suddenly the driver applies the brake. What will happen?
The acceleration, like
It's,
speed decreases.
yeah, its speed or the velocity decreases with the time, right? And the velocity becomes zero if the car is being stopped. So you can see that there is decrease in velocity. So there, what you can see is that it is a, it's not the positive acceleration that is happening, it is the negative acceleration.
Negative acceleration.
So that is a retarded motion. Or example, for example, you consider a stone that is thrown upwards, vertically upwards. What will be happening to that? It will go up, okay, reach a maximum height, right?
Comes back again.
So what is during that motion, what is happening? Its velocity constantly decreases and becomes zero. So
Yeah.
there also you can see that its acceleration is decreasing with,
Negative.
sorry, or the velocity is decreasing with the time. So that is the retarded motion only. So such type of a motion, if you draw the velocity time graph, how will it be? The velocity time graph. At time t is equal to 0, it will be having a certain velocity. Now from that, the velocity decreases over time. So this will be the sort of, it's uniformly retarded. That's why it's a straight line. You can see.
Or
a
else it
straight
be,
line.
or else it's like a curve from B to T, isn't it,
Exactly.
sir?
Exactly. If it is not uniform, means non-uniform retarded motion means either it can be like this. Okay. So the velocity decreases. It's not a straight line like this, a curved curve it can come. Clear? So that is non-uniform
Yes.
retarded motion. Here, this is the uniformly retarded motion. How will be the displacement time graph of this? How will be the displacement time graph of this?
Same parabola is turned downwards.
Exactly. You can see that. See, in the last case, for uniform accelerated motion, you got a curve like this, correct? What is the relevance of this? See, since the velocity is increasing with the time. See here, suppose within this within a certain time interval like this you are considering. Okay, you can see that what is the displacement in that case? This much only is the displacement. But the same time interval after some time, you see what will be the case? You can see that there will be more displacement in that case. Right, that is the case of uniform accelerated motion, because initially it will be having the time covered within a certain time will be less compared to the distance covered in the same time interval after some time. Okay, so that is what actually uniform accelerated motion in the case of accelerated motion. But when you come over to the case of uniformly retarded motion, how will be the graph then? This parabola only, but in the it will be upside down. Okay, it will be upside down. You'll be getting a graph this way. That is the displacement time graph. You'll be getting a curve like this. That is, you can see here. See, initially, if you see this time interval, the displacement is almost this much. Correct? Within this much time, for example, the car has moved this much displacement. But after after certain time, the same time interval, if you are seeing, okay, the same time interval, you see what is the displacement. Here you can see the displacement is less. Okay, so within the same second, for example, 10 seconds here and 10 seconds here, you're considering. See, the car moved this much displacement because its velocity was high at that time. Correct? Now the velocity decreased. So after certain time, the same 10 seconds you consider the displacement, it has decreased, you'll see.
Yes.
So that is actually the relevance of this. The uniformly retarded motion, the velocity time graph will be this. Displacement time graph, it will be like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That we are checking the displacement, like this. Displacement
here?
decreases in size, like we are checking in the graph, sir. Like in
Sorry. What this analysis, what we have done is, if you consider the car that is moving, suddenly, I mean, it is having a uniformly retarded motion. So in when the car is moving from this position, you consider 10 second, okay, and from this position you consider a time interval of 10 seconds. Okay, 10 second and 10 second. You can see that since it is a uniformly retarded motion, here at this position, the velocity will be large. Here the velocity will be less. So what you can see within a time 10 seconds, if you see in this 10 second, it will cover more displacement, correct? Than this one. That is what you can see here. In this 10 second, you see more displacement. In this 10 second, you see less displacement.
Yes, sir.
Got it? So that is actually the relevance of this graph here. Okay, by seeing the graph only, you can tell basically what type of motion that is. Is it clear to you? So the different types of graph, once again, you can see here. The first graph, the uniform motion, how is the graph? Velocity is constant. Uniformly accelerated motion, how is the graph? Okay, uniformly accelerated motion with the initial velocity not equal to 0. Now, uniformly accelerated motion with the initial velocity not is equal to 0. Then in the second case, initial displacement also not equal to 0. Okay, in the last case, the case of uniformly retarded motion. I hope that is clear to you all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's
Yes,
go
sir.
for the very important part of this discussion now. That is the case of the equations of motion. Okay,
The motion when uniform acceleration, isn't it, sir?
exactly. We are going to derive the equations of motion. Equations of motion. This is very important. Okay, maybe in lower classes you would have gone through this, I think, right?
V
Yes,
square
sir.
V square equals to A.
Three equation.
Exactly. Those equations only we consider as the equations of motion. See, what we are considering here is the for a body which is uniformly accelerated. A body which is uniformly accelerated, we are considering. That is, the change in velocity is a constant, or acceleration is a constant value. Now we are considering that a body, it is having an initial velocity u. Okay, it is having an initial velocity u. So after a certain time t, if its velocity is becoming v, uniformly accelerated means its velocity increases, right? Positive acceleration, it means acceleration velocity increases. So after a certain time t, velocity will be greater than the initial velocity, correct? So then what will be the displacement covered during that time interval? You will write as s. Okay, so basically what is this equations of motion? What it is doing is that it is having a constant acceleration. So what equations of motion is doing is that it is connecting these various quantities here. That is the initial velocity, final velocity, time, displacement, and acceleration. These quantities are being related by the equations of motion, or the equations of motion gives the relationship between these 5 values. That is the initial velocity, final velocity, time, displacement, and acceleration. Is it clear to you? Can we start deriving the equations?
Yes,
Sir.
Okay.
sir. In that uniform time.
Uniform time. Time is always uniform only. Is the time running fast always? Time is always, in normal cases, we consider the time to be uniform. There are certain situations which we consider as like the case of special relativity and all you consider, then you will not be considering time. I mean, in that same form. Okay, but for our common classical mechanics, we'll be considering time to be uniform only. Okay. Yes. So let's see what are the equations of motion. The first equation of motion we are going to derive. What we have to consider? We are going to consider an object. Okay, consider an object with initial velocity u. Okay, given uniform acceleration a. Okay, for a time t. Fine. We have a body which is having an initial velocity u. It is given a constant acceleration a. So after a time t, after a certain time t, what will be the velocity of the body? That is actually given by the first equation. I mean, the first equation of motion. This is not actually the first equation of motion. It's one of the equations of motion. Okay. So how will you get that value is what we are going to see. How can we get that? How can we get that? See, you can find basically, since it is a uniform acceleration, we have the relation, the equation for acceleration. What is the equation? Acceleration A is equal to, what is the
T
equation?
minus U by T.
Delta V by T. Delta V by delta T.
Delta T.
So what will that be? See, the velocity change from U to V over a time interval T. So what you can tell here?
V
Delta V
minus
will
U
be
by T.
V minus U by T. Okay, so from this relation, basically you can get the relation. We got what A is equal to V minus U by T, or at, that is equal to v minus u, or this gives you the relation. If you take u to the left hand side, this will give you v is equal to u plus at, and that is the equation, one of the equations of motion.
First equation.
It's not named as first equation. Okay, there is no such a thing as first equation of motion. This is one of the equations of motion. V is equal to u plus at. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, or the same thing you can derive in another method also. Okay, how to do this in another method? Let's see. This method we call as the method of calculus. Okay,
That is by plotting it in a graph, isn't it, sir?
that is graphical method. I'll tell you that also. Okay, that is graphical method. See, by by the method of calculus, how we do this, we'll see. That is the case of integration and differentiation we are using, no? Integration and differentiation. The process of doing integration and differentiation, that is actually by the method of calculus. So by using calculus, let's see how actually we derive this equation. We have what? The instantaneous acceleration is what? dv by dt, correct? Instantaneous acceleration is dv by dt. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this equation, if I take dt to the left hand side, okay, what will be getting? We get basically dv that is equal to a dt, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what we next do is we integrate both the sides. Okay. So we are integrating both the sides. Integral dv, okay, that is equal to integral a dt. But we have to give the limit also here. The velocity is changing from what to what? Velocity is changing from u to v. Time is changing from 0 to t. Okay. So then integral dv is nothing but v only. So if you apply the limit u to v, that will be equal to, what you are getting is a is a constant. It's a uniform acceleration. So a is a constant. So a, you can take it outside the integral. You will be getting integral dt is t only with the limit 0 to t. Okay, where we have used the relation integral x dx is, sorry, integral dx. It's not getting dropped. Yes, integral dx is equal to x. Okay, so that is what we have used here. We have applied the limit also. So now if you apply the limits, it will be v at v, it will be v minus v at u. So that will be velocity at v. So v minus u. So that will be equal to a into t minus 0, which will be. So v minus u is equal to at, you will get, or v minus, sorry, v is equal to,
Plus 80.
hold on a second. Ayo, that got. Screen just went off, right?
No, sir. Screen is there. It's paused, sir.
But hold on a second. That just got off. Let me take the screen again. Hold on a second. Since I'm using this keyboard cursor is there, this device that is notepad cursor is there. So all this, it's getting messed up sometimes. Okay, hold on. Yes. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we get the final relation here. V is equal to u plus at. That's how calculus, by the method of calculus, you derive the same equation.
That is
Okay.
by integrating, sir.
Yes, by the method of differentiation and integration. Okay, by using the method of integration, we derived this. Okay, that is the method of calculus you will take. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me introduce you this method also. That is the method of from graph, how can we take this also, we'll see. Okay, that is the method of graphical method. Graphical method of taking this equation, how it is, that also we can see. How we do this? We consider the velocity time graph. Okay, the velocity time graph, you see. So for this body, which is uniformly accelerated with initial velocity u, okay, if you are considering over a time interval t, if you are considering, okay, what will be the graph? What will be the sort of graph for this object now? Which graph it will be? In the last case, we consider different graphs here, right? Out of that, which graph it will be in this case? You tell me here.
Already with initial velocity, sir.
Yes, it's with initial velocity. Which type
Third
of
one,
graph?
sir.
It is the third case only, right? Uniformly accelerated. See here, uniformly accelerated motion. Initial velocity not equal to 0, right? Displacement is 0, right? So that case you can take in this particular case. That is what we have been considering, correct? We are, see here, a body. Yeah, see here, consider an object with the initial velocity u given a uniform acceleration a for a time t. So that graph you can use in this case. Yeah. So let's use that graph in this case. So from that, we can take out some useful results here. So you'll be having a graph this way. Yeah. So this value is u. This value is u. Okay. And its final value, this is v. If you may plot it here, this is the, hold on. This is the velocity time graph. So this is the velocity time graph. So this much it is v. Okay, now and this time, and this we are considering the motion for a time interval t, correct? We're considering the time interval t. Okay, so that's how the graph will be, right? So now what we are going to do is, how do you actually, from velocity time graph, how do you find acceleration?
Slope, sir.
Slope of the graphs.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Okay, so acceleration from a velocity,
Slope of the graph.
from an acceleration velocity time graph, this is given actually by the slope of velocity time graph.
Sir, over here we cannot find actually the area, so that is why we use slope.
That will give you displacement, right? But what we want is acceleration. Okay, that will use, okay, from whatever idea you just have told now, for other equations of motion will use that. Okay, so but now in this case we want the slope. So we consider this time interval t. Okay, so this time interval t we are considering. How do you find the slope for this curve? The slope is actually given by, what will be this value? This value will be v minus u, and this is t, as you can see. So the slope is delta v by delta t, which is nothing but v minus u by t only. So we got a is equal to v minus u by t, which gives you v is equal to u plus at. That's how graphically you derive this equation.
Yes, sir.
Is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So the three methods you can just see here once again. Fine. Directly we use the equation of acceleration and we derive it. Secondly, by the method of calculus we derive it, and graphically we derive it. Okay. So the important thing is our equation of motion. The first one we derived is v is equal to u plus at. Is it clear to you all?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's get into the second discussion. Second equation we are going to derive now. Let's see how we can actually derive. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, the same case we are considering. Okay, that is we consider a body with an initial velocity u, okay, which is uniformly accelerated. A is equal to constant value. Now we consider it is being accelerated for a time t. So we are assuming that it goes through a displacement of s, and its velocity becomes v. So here, what we are going to consider here, the average velocity. Okay, the average velocity, how do you find it? How do you find the average velocity? V average.
Total displacement. Total time
Not in
taken.
terms of displacement. We are going to find it in terms of what? U and v. See, basically, initial velocity was u, final velocity is v, and the time interval, it is given a constant acceleration, right? So it's given over a time t. So you can find basically the average velocity in this case as equal to what? The sum of the velocities, okay, divided by 2. That gives you the average velocity in that case, right?
The average velocity is delta v by delta t only. That is
Delta V. Delta V by delta t is acceleration. Change in velocity by time is this is acceleration.
Plus V by 2.
See, u plus v by 2 gives you the average velocity.
Yes.
Okay. U plus v by 2, that gives the average velocity in this case. So once you get the average velocity, how do you get displacement? Yes.
Who is time or something? Like, is it a formula?
No. See, we have initial velocity u, final velocity v. So how do you find the average of these two values? U plus v by 2. We have the number 2, we have the number 4. What is the average of these two values? 2 plus 4 divided by 2. So that will be 6 by 2, that is equal to 3, correct? So that way we are finding the average, that's it. It's not time. The average of these two velocities we are finding. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So basically here we can find the displacement. How do you find the displacement? Displacement, if I am writing as S, that will be equal to what? The average velocity into time, correct? Velocity into time, that gives you the displacement. So the velocity has changed from u to v. We found the average velocity is v average. Okay, so that v average into time gives you what? Displacement. So we'll just substitute that. That is u plus v divided by 2 into t. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Next, what we do is we have the first equation of motion. What is the first equation? V is equal to u plus at. So what I do is, in place of this v, I'll substitute u plus at. So what will that equation become? U plus
U plus AT.
u plus at divided by 2 into t.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? So what will be getting? 2u plus
2u plus
at
8.
U plus
divided by 2 into t. Is that right? So what will be getting? 2u by 2. What is it?
U.
2u by 2. It is u. So u plus at by 2 into t you will be getting. So that will be giving you what? Ut plus half at square you will get. Okay. And this is what we call as the second equation. That is S is equal to ut plus half at square.
Yes, sir.
Is that clear? Is it clear
Yes,
to
sir.
you all? Yeah. So that's how we actually find the displacement in this particular case. Okay, S is equal to ut plus half at square. Let's do the calculus method. In calculus method, how can we do this? Let's see. I'll write it next to this. Okay. So that all together we can see here now. So let's do it by the calculus method. In calculus method, how can we do this? Yes. See, in calculus method, we have the equation v is equal to u plus at, correct? V is equal to u plus at. What I'm going to write is, velocity I'm going to write as ds by dt. Can I write it this way?
Yes, sir.
It is the rate of change of displacement, that is velocity. So I'm going to write ds by dt, that is equal to what? U plus at.
ds by dt, that is rate of change of displacement by time.
That is velocity, right?
Yes.
What is instantaneous velocity? Ds by dt, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's how we wrote this equation. So next, what I'm going to write, I'll keep ds only on the left hand side, dt I'll take to the right hand side, u plus at into dt. Now what I'll do? What will be
Integrate.
the next step? You tell me.
Integrating.
Integrate. You integrate ds, and the right hand side also you integrate u plus at into dt. The left hand side you are integrating for the displacement. Displacement is from where to where? 0 to s. Correct? Displacement is from 0 to s we are finding. And the motion you are considering, time from where to where you are integrating? From 0 to t you are integrating. So that will, what is integral ds? What is integral ds?
Yes, sir.
S. S.
S, very good. So S with the limit 0 to S, that will be equal to, if you do the right hand side integration, what you'll be getting? If the right hand side you integrate, what you'll be getting?
U plus it
2
will come
plus
out.
80 into t.
No. See, what you have to do is the right hand side, this is how you'll be integrating. Since there is summation that is coming here, you'll be doing it as integral 0 to t u dt plus integral 0 to t at dt. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we distribute the integration there. So integral u dt, what is it? U is a constant initial velocity that you can take it outside. What you're going to get is integral ut. U into t you will be getting. That is, it will be like, yeah, I'll write the step here. This will be like u into integral 0 to t dt plus a is also constant here. A into integral 0 to t dt. Is it
I
clear to
didn't
you?
understand.
Constant over here, sir.
U is a constant, right? Initial velocity, it's not going to change, right?
Yes.
So that you will take outside the integral here like this. So this will, what will become? Integral 0 to t dt will remain there, right? In the right hand side, what is happening? It is a uniform acceleration. So a is constant. So a, I took it outside the integral. So a into integral 0 to t t dt. Clear now? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tell me clearly, have you understood or not?
A is constant and U is constant, so you took them out. So
We
remaining
took them
T-
out of the integration.
Yes.
Okay, that will stay constant. You need not integrate them. Okay, so I think in that way only now. Now, what will this be now? Integral dt is t only, correct? So u into t with the limit 0 to t
0 to T.
plus a into what is integral t dt? What is, we have, I think we have discussed this. That is, what is integral x raised to n dx?
T, sir.
What is it? Integral x raised to n dx is x raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1.
Yes, sir.
Haven't we told this in the last class? Some of the class, I think we have gone through this. Integral x raised to n dx is x raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1. So what will be integral t dt? That is integral t dt means what is it? See, in place of x, it is t here. And n is 1 in this case. So what will it be? T raised to
1
1
plus
plus 1.
1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1. So it is t square by 2. Okay, so I'll write it as t square by 2 with the limit you are applying 0 to t. So what you're going to, if you apply the limit, it will be like t minus 0 and t square by 2 minus 0 square by 2. So what you're going to get, this will be, sorry. Yeah, what you're going to get here, it is ut plus half at square only you will get. So s, if you are applying the limit 0 to s means you will be getting s minus 0, you'll get this. So s is equal to ut plus half a t square. That's how you get this result. This is the method of calculus. By the method of calculus, this is how you'll be solving or deriving this relation. You can see that. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see graphical method, how to do.
Can you scroll upside and copy it?
Sure.
Sir, in graphical method, it's fourth case.
It's the third case, right? The first case we just from the equation we derived, right? In the second case, calculus, and the third case is the graphical method. Right? Each equation we are deriving in 3 methods, right?
Yes.
Is this over?
Yes, sir.
Can I, do I need to scroll down?
No, sir. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Sir, do we have the whole chapter, that is motion in a straight line, for this week?
I just have to, no, you don't have the entire chapter. There are many cases coming in this chapter, okay? This is just the beginning only. Using these, particularly the equations of motion, next we are going to see many cases here. All right.
Yes, sir.
Is this done? Can I scroll down? See, whenever I'm deriving this, you can actually do it with me. Okay. Don't just need to see the board only. You can just try solving on your own also. If possible, whenever I'm writing something, the next step, what it will be, you can try solving it first, so that you'll get to know whether you're on the same track or not. All right. Yeah.
So this is calculus, no, sir.
Yes, this is the method of
So
calculus.
there are two methods, sir.
The first method directly from the equation we solved, right? In the second method, we are solving from by using integration. Now, one more method is there, graphical method, right? So one more method we'll do now. Is this over?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
let's go for the next method. That is
Sir, one more is graphical, isn't it?
yes, we are going for the graphical method now. Okay. Yes, let's go for the graphical method. Very easy thing. Yes, graphically, how we do this, we'll see now. Okay, let me draw a line here. The graphical method. Okay, so let's see how is the velocity time graph for this. How will be the velocity time graph for this? How is the velocity time graph for this?
Same as the first one.
Same. It's a uniformly accelerated with initial velocity u, correct?
Sir, displacement we are considering, isn't it?
Fine. I'm going to take it out from the velocity time graph. Let's see how we do this. Okay. So it's a uniformly accelerated motion with initial velocity u. So this value is u. Fine. And as we have seen, yeah, this value is v, correct? Now let's see. From a velocity time graph, how do we get displacement?
Area,
By finding the area, sir.
area under slope.
So you know it, right? That's only we have to do it. How do you get the displacement? Displacement is nothing but that will be equal to area under velocity time graph. Let's see how to find the area. How can you find the area under this velocity time graph? You want to find this area.
Between this V and T, we find out that like area, isn't
We
it?
need to find the entire area below this. Okay, not just till here. Okay, not just till here. We need to find the entire area under this. How can we do this? Here, this area, this is how we'll be finding. I'm going to divide the entire area into two sections. Okay.
One triangle and one
yes. So
rectangle.
we'll find it as area of the rectangle
Triangle plus a
plus area of the triangle. What will be the area of the rectangle? What will be the area of the rectangle here?
That is U.
UT.
Exactly. See, this is U, this is T. So the area of the rectangle will
Sir,
be
two
UT.
triangle, no, sir.
Sorry?
I mean, two triangle, no, sir. Even the above one.
Where are two? No. Where is the graph? You see here, where is the graph? Where is the graph here? We are not considering anything above it. See, where is the graph coming here? Hold on. Where is the graph? Sorry. Hey, it's going on. You can see here, this is the graph, right? This is the graph that is correct. This is clear. See, this is the graph, right? So the area under the graph, velocity time graph we are finding, not above. This you need not consider, right? This just for knowing what I have noted this, that is this value is coming to be V. That is what I have noted. For that only I have drawn that line. You need not consider this. Okay. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Yes, so let's see here how to find area of the rectangle is UT as we have seen just now. Next, area of triangle you need to find. How do you find the area of the triangle?
half into
Half into base into height. What is the base?
T
T
into
into
V.
height, what it is?
V.
Is it V?
Yes, sir.
Check it
Not
once
V,
again.
sorry, U minus V.
No.
V minus U.
This, see, you want to get this. This is the height you want to see, correct? How do you get it? That is, this much is V, correct? This much is
V
V.
minus U, sir.
And this
V
minus,
minus
this
V
is
minus.
correct. This much is V, this is U. So this will be V minus U. So
V
V minus U, you have to substitute here. Correct? Is that clear?
Yeah, sir.
Yes. Now let's see how to do this. Can you tell me the next step? what
Instead
it
of
will
V
be?
minus, you have to substitute AT, sir.
Exactly. We have the first equation V minus U is equal to AT. So just substitute that. What will be getting? UT plus half into T into AT. So you'll get what our final equation you'll be getting. Displacement is S. So we get what that is equal to UT plus half AT square. That's how you get this result. Is that clear?
So even these graphs also play a major
Sir,
role
should you
in
copy
shaping
this
the formula.
displacement?
Yeah, you can copy this. You can write it.
Sir,
Yes.
even graphs play a main role in deriving these formulas.
Yes, graphically you can solve. That's what I told. By different methods you can solve, but what I told, graphically also you can solve. So that is the importance of the graph. Many information you will get from the graph. All right. See, one important thing I'll tell you, this graphical method that I have just shown you, that is the derivation of S is equal to UT plus RPT square equation. That is also that is important for PU also. Okay, or PU or CBSE. It is very important, this derivation. Okay. I'll give you the proper derivation of this, okay, afterwards. That is deriving with the proper statements we have to write. That is consider that is a body with initial velocity U.
Then this may
moving
be
with
for 5 marks because we are deriving 4 formulas, isn't it, sir?
yes, you are actually this only this derivation, okay. Only this graphical method for 5 mark it will be asked. It's an important question for 5 marks.
We are deriving all complete 4 formulas over here, so 5 marks.
Just one equation you are deriving. Only this S is equal to UT plus RPT square you are deriving here. For that, it will be asked for 5 marks.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Is it clear to you? So can we go for the next derivation? That is one more equation is there. Can we do it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, let's do that equation also. Okay. So the next equation we are going to see, okay, one more equation is there. So till now we have derived 2 equations. V is equal to U plus AT, S is equal to UT plus half AT square. So you can see the first relation is actually the velocity time relation, correct? Velocity and time relation. And the second one is the displacement time relation. And the third one, which will it be?
V square minus U square equals to
No,
8.
what relation that is? Velocity displacement relation. Okay, the first relation you can see it is the velocity time relation. Second one is the displacement time relation, and the last one it is going to be
Sir, we
velocity.
use like
displacement.
velocity and time to find out the first formula you're saying, sir.
Sorry.
Velocity and time are required to find out the first formula. Use it in that way.
I'm telling, see, the first relation, it is actually the relationship between velocity and time. Okay. See, V is equal to U plus AT. Displacement is not coming in that, no. So it's the velocity time relation. Second one, it gives the relationship between displacement and time. And the third equation we are going to derive now, it is the relationship between velocity and displacement. Okay, so let's derive that equation without wasting time. So we have our equation that is S is equal to UT plus half AT square, right? It is from this equation we are going to derive the last equation. Okay, we have the equation. We have S is equal to UT plus half AT square, correct? Is that right? We have the first equation, V is equal to U plus AT, correct? Is this right?
Yes, sir.
If I write, can I write it this way? V minus U is equal to AT. right?
Yes, sir.
Or T is equal to V minus U by A. Can I write it this way?
Yes, sir.
Yes, let's, in place of these two T's that are coming in the right hand side, I'm going to write it V minus U by A. So I'll get this equation U into V minus U by A, right? Plus half into A into V minus U by A the whole square. Can I write it this way? Can I write it this way? Yeah. So let's simplify this one now. That is, what will you be getting here? What will you be getting here if you solve this? What will you be getting here? Yeah, let's multiply this u inside. Okay, so it will be giving you uv minus u square, right? Uv minus u square
By A.
divided by a, correct? Can I
Yes,
write it this way? Plus this, let it be this here, plus half into a into what is this a square is coming down, right? So I'll write it here down. I'll write it a little more big. It's not getting clumsy here. So let's write it here. So u into, what did I just do? This is u v minus u square divided by a plus half into this a square in the denominator. I'm going to take it outside. Okay. So it will be a by a square into what is v minus u the whole square? What is v minus u the whole square?
80 whole square.
So what it is?
80 whole square.
What is a minus b the whole square?
V
B
square.
square plus U square minus
V
2.
square
A square plus b square minus 2ab. So let's write it that way. So this will be v square minus, sorry, v square plus u square minus 2uv, correct? Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's, yes. So if I take, see here, so what is the equation now? uv by a minus u square by a plus, what will this be? What will this be now?
So how you got half A by A square, sir?
This a here, it is a square, it is, right? This, if I take it outside, what will be a by a square, right? Okay, I'll write that step again once again here. Yeah, this is there, no? Half into a is there, no? Divided by a square, correct? V minus u the whole square divided by a square it is, right? So that
Yes,
square will
sir.
come for a also. So you can get this equation, right? So a and this will get cancelled, right? So a, the square will get cancelled off. You'll be getting 1 by 2a into what? V square plus u square minus 2uv. Can I write it this way?
Yes, sir.
So let's simplify this. How do we simplify this? This will be equal to uv by a plus u square by a plus, if I give v square by 2a, correct? Plus u square by 2a minus 2uv by 2a, correct?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right? 1 by 2a I give for all of this. So this 2 and this 2 get cancelled off. So what will happen? See, this first term and this last term, can I cancel? Can I cancel?
Yes, sir.
Because it is uv by a only. So how do I simplify this now? How do I simplify this? If I take 2a as denominator, okay? If I take 2a as common denominator, what will this equation become?
You will get cancelled because one is positive and one is negative, sir.
Sorry?
You will get cancelled because one is positive and one is negative.
Yes. Because uv by a minus uv by a, that get cancelled.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that right? Yeah. So here, how can I simplify this more?
Sir, use S, sir.
Hmm? Is there any mistake that we have done? No.
E square plus U square.
See, one thing I forgot here, it is not plus here, right? See, this
Sir,
is
that will
minus.
That should be minus, sir.
Yes. No, this is minus, but you have to note one thing. See, if I take common here, what will this equation? 2a common if you take, it will be minus 2u square plus v square plus u square. Is it right?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
LCM I'm taking. LCM is 2a. So the first term denominator is only a. So with the 2 I'll multiply that. Can I do it this way?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
what
sir.
is minus 2u square plus u square?
Minus u square.
Minus u square. So I can write this as what? V square minus u square divided by 2a. Can I write it that way?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what we got? We just have got that displacement s is equal to v square minus u square by 2a, which you can write it also as what? V square minus u square is equal to 2as, and that is our third equation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see that equation derivation once again here. I'll just zoom out this one. See, I think the derivation part, no, the calculus and the graphical part for this we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay, otherwise everything together, I mean, will be difficult.
Sir, I didn't write that that formula fully, sir.
Which one?
The last one, which is, yes.
I'll give you. I'm going to take that only. Yeah. Can you see that now?
Yes, sir.
Is it done? Is that done?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see here. See, let's consolidate all the equations of motion together. The equations of motion. They see the calculus derivation and the graphical derivation of this. We'll discuss in the next class. Okay, everything together it will be I mean hard for you. Okay, so no need to take that much rush. Okay, so let's see what are the equations of motion. First one we got. What is the equation? Can you tell everyone? What is the equation?
V is equal to u plus at.
V is equal to
U
U
plus at.
plus AT. Okay. Second equation, what we got?
S is equal to half ut plus
Displacement S, that is equal to
ut plus
UT
half
plus
at.
half it is.
UT plus half AT square. And the third equation, what we got?
S u square equals to
V
as.
square minus U square, that is equal to 2AS. Okay, so these are the three equations of motion that we have seen. I need you to clearly understand what we actually mean by these equations. What is that? See, if we have a body, okay, which is actually moving initially with a velocity u, it is given a constant acceleration a, okay, for a time t. So the first equation, what it gives you is that under this condition, if a body which was moving with a velocity u, if it is given a constant acceleration for a time t, what will be its final velocity? Okay, for example, we have a car, you were moving with suppose 30 kilometer per hour speed or 30 kilometer per hour speed. Okay, you are giving a constant acceleration a for this car. Okay, that is you are giving accelerator, you are pushing constantly, you are pushing. Okay, you are not increasing the acceleration, the constant acceleration you are giving for this, and this acceleration you are giving for a time t. So what generally you know its speed would have increased. So what is its speed now? That is actually given by the first equation. V is equal to u plus at. That is like that 30 kilometer per hour plus acceleration into time. That gives you what? That final velocity. Is it clear? That is what we mean by the first equation. The second equation, what it is giving you, if in the same case, okay, if in the same case, you are actually, you have this body, you have this car, which was moving with initial velocity like 30 kilometer per hour.
Just can you
It is,
explain,
hold on a second.
explain first one now? Like,
Which one? First one.
yes, sir, you just said something before.
What I told here,
What you said, sir.
what I told just now. What's the time? Is it already done? Yes, after this, we'll just close it, okay? So if we have a car, suppose it was moving with an initial velocity, suppose 30 meter per second, okay? Now, you are giving it a constant acceleration a constant acceleration. That is the accelerator of the car you are keeping, constant acceleration you are giving. So after a certain time t, suppose after 10 seconds, what will be the speed of the car? What will be the speed of the car? How will you find? That is by using this equation, v is equal to u plus at. Okay, initial velocity is given to us, acceleration is known, time is 10 seconds. So just multiply the initial, add the initial velocity with the product of acceleration and time, that gives you the final velocity. Okay, I hope you are able to make an image in your mind. The second point, what it is telling you that, see, a body which was moving initially with a velocity u, it is given a constant acceleration for a time t. So how much distance in the during that time it would have covered? How much time it covers in that time t? That is actually given by the second equation, s is equal to ut plus half at square. The third equation, what it is, you have this object which was at with initial velocity. With initial velocity, what is it? Yeah. A body with an initial velocity u. Okay. Now it is given after going through a displacement s, its velocity has become v. So what is that velocity after a certain displacement? That is given by this third equation of motion, that is v square minus u square, that is equal to 2a. And that is the significance of these equations. Okay, all the types of motion. Okay, the uniformly accelerated motion you can analyze, or various things you can analyze by using this equation. Clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any doubt, anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, so I think it's already 10 12:30. I'll just see from the equation of motion. I'll just show you once again if you want, so that there is that zoom out notification. Yeah. Yes, here is the thing. From equations of motion, this is the graphs, the equations of motion. So the first equation, v is equal to u plus at. How directly we solved? You can see calculus method. This was how we derived it, right? Calculus method, graphical method. Second case, s is equal to ut plus half at square equation. You can see we derived it. First we took what is average velocity, and from that equation we derived what is s. We substituted v is equal to u plus at in that equation, and we got s is equal to ut plus half at square. And in the calculus method, the first equation we took v is equal to u plus at. We wrote v is equal to ds by dt, and we integrated to get the final result, s is equal to ut plus half at square. And in the graphical method also, you can just see how we have taken that. Area under the velocity time graph gives you the displacement, right? And the last point, last equation, this is how we derive. That is this case. That is from s is equal to ut plus half at square equation we started, and ended at v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Any doubt? Anyone?
Sir.
I hope that was clear to you. See, this is actually what I hope actually everyone. See, how did you feel it? This derivation, was it like? I mean, tiring, or was it like it's beautiful? Was it were you able to enjoy it?
Enjoy.
What
Nice
it
one.
is? Huh?
Derivations are awesome.
Yeah, so that is the thing. I want you to like enjoy these derivations. Okay, whatever derivations are coming, just we need to enjoy it. Like the process of like drawing a picture. Like you are making in your mind, it will be like creating a beautiful picture, right? So in that way, we have to do this. Okay, so that is it. In that way, if you take, it will be very easy only. All these cases. Okay. So with that, I think we can end the discussion. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Bye.